My name is Dr. Kate Hurley. I'm the director of the Correct Shelter Medicine program at UC Davis, and I'm studying feline upper respiratory infection. It's important for pet owners to know that one of the reasons that respiratory infection can be common in cats, and one of the strategies for controlling it, is to limit stress for cats. And in thinking about it, like when they take the cat to the vet or it has to go to a boarding kennel, to have a place like a carrier that is the cat's space at home, that it's used to, that's friendly to it, that has bedding, and you give it treats in there sometimes, and it becomes a pleasant place for the cat to be. And then when it has to go away from home, make sure that that carrier goes with the cat, so it has a little home away from home. It goes with it everywhere that it goes. And recognize that when you introduce change to a cat, if they have this herpes virus in their body, it's just like a cold sore in people. It can erupt with symptoms when they're stressed. So sometimes you bring a new cat into the home from a shelter, and the cat that's already in the home will get sick. Most commonly, that's not because it got an infection from the other cat, but because its own herpes virus infection that it already had was activated by the stress of introducing a new cat. And so gradually introducing change into cat's environment is another way to help prevent respiratory infection. The other tool that we have is vaccination. So when cats get their annual or every 3-year vaccines, that includes vaccination against the 2 most important viruses associated with upper respiratory infection in cats. And that's helpful. It can make the signs of respiratory disease less severe in cats, but it can't completely prevent infection with those 2 viruses. Herpes virus and calicivirus is the other one that's common. And so we also need to just prevent exposure to other cats that aren't healthy to the extent possible and maintain their low stress levels in their environment. The other most important thing that cat owners can do to protect their own cats and to protect all cats from upper respiratory infection is to make sure that their cats don't end up in an animal shelter. And if they do end up in an animal shelter, that they can get home as quickly as possible. And that means 2 kinds of identification on every cat. That is an external ID tag, that if a neighbor finds the cat or an animal control officer should pick the cat up, they can call them right away and get the cat right back home without ever even having to spend time in a shelter. Or, just in case that ID tag gets lost or a natural disaster happens, like a hurricane or an earthquake, where that physical ID tag may not link to the address or the phone number where the person actually is, every cat should have a microchip.